Okay, gonna try to keep this video pretty short. This is the arcade cabinet I have up for sale on eBay. It's a Sega Net City candy cap sit-down style arcade cabinet. Right now it's running a Capcom vs. SNK2 on a GD-ROM setup. The arcade cabinet is really nice. You know, if I had to give it a rating, I'd say it's an 8 out of 10. There's no yellowing, no major damage. You know, you have a little bit of wear here and there. It was in an arcade for a short period of time. But if you compare it to a lot of the other ones that are selling on eBay or even locally, you'll see that this one is in very nice condition. The monitor, which is probably the most important part, it looks great. All the adjustments work. There's no burn-in, there's no flicker. Here, I'll show you guys here in a second. So you can hook up a punch, medium punch, heavy punch, light, medium, heavy. So yeah, controls work perfect. No issues. Again, they were brand new. And I think that's about it. If I forget something, I'll add it next. I got to show you guys. There's the
Surf the net, only on Sega Saturn. Sega! Reload! Surf the net, only on Sega Saturn. A game that lets you fly. Sega! And who? Sega! Who gives you the most authentic sports games? Sega! Who gives you a game that lets you fly? And who gives you access to the internet on your TV? Sega! Play games, surf the net, only on Sega Saturn.
Games, computer effluvia, and all the latest in electronic gizmo mania converged on Los Angeles last week. Juliet Honan scouted the wares, accompanied by a 17-year-old electro expert who helped her sort the cool stuff out from the hype. Here's her report.
This thing is now using a phone line to dial up another player somewhere out in the U.S. that we can play. And he should ideally be suited to my level of challenge.
The Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo aren't consoles that are normally brought up when discussing online gaming, but they should be, because years before SegaNet, Xbox Live, or the PlayStation Network came to be, high-quality online gaming arrived to the 16-bit era, when Catapult Entertainment released xband for the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo.
With xband, the new game modem and video game network that blasts players into a whole new dimension of gaming. Created by Catapult Entertainment and distributed by THQ, xband is the only networked gaming product designed to support existing and future multiplayer games for both the Sega and Nintendo 16-bit game platform.
Featuring skill-based matchmaking, gamer profiles, avatars, email, nationwide leaderboards, and more, xband was more than just a way to play 16-bit games against opponents from across the country. It was a revolutionary product whose high-quality, low-latency, head-to-head gaming and social features were nothing short of a glimpse into gaming's future.
I mean, it was the coolest thing ever. It was my first email, it was my first chat, first online gaming.
I take this to my dad and I said, Dad, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, look at this. I can play with people across the
Atlanta and New York. To make xband's launch truly memorable, Catapult...
Most people, even the really, really good players, if it's too...
did mostly what
some of Apple's best minds working on it, and they also had some friends from other companies that they could lean on for help.
We needed someone to actually compose the music for the thing. And the limitations of writing music on the
such as it's $20 for a 6-pack of modems offered to build up their user base. In May of 1995, Catapult announced that the Super Nintendo version of xband would be released to the same test markets later that month, along with a reduced price of $29.99 for both the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis versions. The importance of Catapult's deal with Viacom became more apparent during this initial rollout. At the time, Viacom owned the movie and video game rental giant Blockbuster Video. Catapult's partnership with Viacom allowed xband to be sold in over 500 Blockbuster stores located in the test markets.
Blockbuster was way behind it. Was really behind it for a while. And, you know, the key for us was people had to try it. You know, you have to experience it to kind of love it and want to buy it and be part of it, all that.
Went to the local Blockbuster
and I'm looking around, and all of a sudden I see xband video game modem. Like, whoa, this is good.
Stats File to check their latest ranking by game title and track their progress among other competitors. Xband also allows players to send and receive messages on Xmail. And when inside their mailbox, players can check out Xband's online newspaper, Bandwidth, which keeps players updated on the gaming scene, upcoming Xband tournaments, sports, and entertainment news. If desired, even parents can express themselves on Xband by setting controls on the number of hours, times of day, and long-distance calling restrictions for their children when playing on the network.
After a game was finished, you could chat with your opponent by pressing up 3 times on the D-pad. This would bring up a screen where you could chat with each other in real time, essentially bringing instant messaging to the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Typing with a controller was cumbersome, but Catapult released Xband keyboards for both the Genesis and Super Nintendo.
So this was actually the original prototype keyboard, and you can see there's a big notch cut out of it right here. This is missing the board now, but this was the one that I used to develop the keyboard. There originally was a board in here, and this is where I would plug in the different microcontrollers as I was testing stuff. We went to Fry's and bought these, and then just like took them apart and hacked them up and turned them into the prototype Catapult keyboards. They're quite rare. You can only get them by mail order from Catapult.
Today, these keyboards are quite rare and a fairly expensive collector's item. Catapult was also smart enough to include call waiting settings that would pause the gameplay for both Xband users when a call came in. Once you were done with the call, Xband would reconnect both players and pick up right from where you left off. Catapult was able to push out firmware and software updates to the modems whenever they connected to the service. Additionally, there were a few minigames that could be accessed by entering special codes during Xband's main menu. One of the games was Rattle Bassin, a Pong clone that featured the names of Catapult's designers and staff. Even though Xband came bundled with all of these forward-thinking features, almost immediately Xband users began to use the service in ways that its designers had never.
Were sort of cheating or working around or trying to win without really winning, and we'd have to detect that and give the win to the right guy.
Hey, this person was losing and they pulled their cord out, and that was the classic Xband move was cord pulling.
People who are actually winning the game.
Japanese company Nisho Iwai and Catapult issued a press release to tout the formation of Catapult Entertainment